Do do ba-ba-doo, ba-ba-da-ba-doo. What's new, Pussycat? Too bad I don't know more words to that. I could I could sing them, but I don't know them. I guess not. It looked like something was off with my lighting, but I guess that's not off with my lighting. I'm just weird looking. What are the odds of that? All right, here we go. Who's in? Oh, Batman. Yo, Batman. What's up? Krusty and Bylove and Johnny and Lude's here. And Edwin, Fringe Flicks. Yeah, well, I mean, now that we're trying to, apparently, Pelosi's trying to put the wheels in motion to start World War III. At least that gives us something to talk about, take away from COVID and monkeypox and all that for a little while. You got a notification, Dylan? Wow. Hey, Noah. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Good to see you. Takilla's here. Madman's here. Stormstar and Gabe. What do you... Oh. What... Hold on. Johnny says Chinese commies are pussies, no danger. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. But why bother? Why? What do we need Nancy Pelosi in Taiwan for? I mean, it'd be different if she was being sent over there or went over there with some sort of agenda or to make some sort of international point or something like that. But particularly with the way everything else is going right now, and you got Russia accusing the U.S. of having basically fought on behalf of Ukraine and everybody else all uneasy all throughout the world. Why? I mean, and that's a legit question. Maybe somebody has more details about this than do I. But what the fuck she even got it? Why go there? For what? What is her intended purpose? I mean, her in general, Pelosi, and in fairness, so it doesn't seem like I'm attacking one side. Mitch McConnell, her same thing. Either one of them, why? They're fucking useless, particularly internationally. Why would you be over there? For what? What are we looking to accomplish? Code says World War III against China. Laugh my ass off. They need to worry about their economy first. Well, same could be said for us, Code. In fairness, I mean, yes, China has absolute economic concerns. So does the U.S. Gabe says, it seems to me that Pelosi just wanted to go there because she thought it was her summer vacation. I really don't. That was a legitimate question. I mean, I didn't mean that to be rhetorical. If anybody knows why, it just came out of the blue. I mean, we know that, China's convinced that Taiwan is their territory and very protective of that and everything. That's been going on for some time, but Pelosi going to visit just seemed like, I mean, the way it took place, it just seemed like she was just bored one day and said, I'm going to go over to Asia. I'll stop in Taiwan and see what that creates. And it's Pelosi, the Speaker of the House. We don't even need you involved internationally. It's the president's job. You're the Speaker of the House of the United States of America. There's not really any reason for you to get involved in international diplomacy on our behalf. We have people that handle that. Yeah, well, that's true, Aro. The world leaders are all a bunch of idiots. That's why. That gets down to the core of it. Yeah. Yeah. Well put, Aro said again. Honorable people die for their country so evil people can ruin it. Krusty says drunk Pelosi versus Winnie the Pooh. UFC rules, who wins? Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. So Winnie the Pooh there, little round guy from China, our pal G. I don't think he's much of a bad. I think Pelosi's a psycho, especially drunk. So I'm going to give her the edge. Gabe says Pelosi probably thought she was the president. Yeah, she's kind of far gone. Well, and this is how bad our politics are. Has anyone? Oh, I can't think of her name. representative from California, guys. Oh, she was mayor of San Francisco when I lived in the Bay Area. What going on about 40 years ago now? Oh, what the hell's her name? But now she I don't remember. Is she in the House or the Senate? She's in the House, I believe now. Yeah, she's in the House. God, it's just driving me nuts. Her name won't come to me. And there are strong rumors that she basically has no idea where she is. She's got to be almost 90. She's so deep into not Maxine. No. No, not Pelosi. Oh, what the hell is her name? Like I say, she was the only reason I know that her political career early on, she was mayor of San Francisco because that's the position she held. Feinstein, thank you. Will's got it. Feinstein. They're saying that, and again, it's just rumors, but not hard to believe given her age and the fact that you do not see her, I guess, in public at all anymore. That she's old and she's lost it. Those are the rumors. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm saying that's what's been rumored. If that is true, we're leaving these fucking people in office like that. Because, and it's both sides. Both sides are concerned about protecting their majorities or their individual seats. So they'll just leave somebody who is absolute pudding between the ears because it benefits them. What the fuck? I mean, if there's any truth to that at all, I mean, even if it's been exaggerated, if she is starting to lose it, she should not be sitting in that position. What the hell? It's just, it's stunning. I mean, I've told you guys over and over, even though I voted Trump, I've never had anything against Joe Biden. I followed politics my whole life. But I become convinced, and it took me longer than most, but I become convinced he's got some serious cognitive issues, and he's fucking president. And when you look at the Republican side, it's no better because poll just came out again today showing Trump with a huge lead in the polls for a Republican primary. He's going to be almost 80. What the and he's not that hinged to begin with. Kat says Taiwan are the Chinese fascists who tried to side with both the U.S. and Japan in World War II to fight the communists. Seriously, now the U.S. just keeps them around to piss off China. Well, but the thing is, though, Kat, what I'm more than anything else is why this visit and why now. I don't understand, and this could get. I mean, in the respect that China kind of threw a lot of cards on the table and saying, okay, if you do that, there's going to be an issue. And then Pelosi's kind of like, fuck you, I'll do what I want. And, we got 5-year-olds on a playground here willing to have a standoff. Over what? Chrome says, it seems like a lot of Democrats' top politicians are demented and crazy. Did you see the recent Nancy Pelosi clip on those Republicans' Turtleman? Yeah, both sides. There's a lot of demented and crazy. But from what what they've been saying about Feinstein is really unnerving. Jesus Christ. Chrome says, I told you 4 to 6 years ago, Joe Biden was evil and had dementia. I don't know about evil, but yeah. And again, because I followed his whole career, he had always been a gaffe machine. And Joe Biden has always been prone to saying stupid things, to putting his mouth in gear before his brain. So for the longest time, I was willing to say, okay, he's gotten older. He's just gotten worse at that. But then now seeing what we see of him currently, it's like, yeah, it looks like there's something more to that, unfortunately. P. Morton says Trump started the trade war. Someone has had to finish it. I have no idea what you're talking about and how that relates to what we're talking about here. Mellon says China is such a paper tiger, man. They're not going to do shit. Maybe true, but why push the issue though? And what if you're wrong? But I just don't understand. That's what I'm trying to get to. We know that any high-ranking member of American government going to Taiwan is going to be considered a direct poke in the eye to China. Whether that's valid or not is another issue, but we know that's how they're going to take it. So my question is, why? I mean, why are we choosing to poke them in the eye? That's all. I'm really curious what the gain is. Tsunami says, I'm actually glad Pelosi visited Taiwan. It shows solidarity with our Taiwanese allies. Sort of pisses off East Taiwan. But again, Tsunami, you say that shows solidarity how? I mean, shows solidarity how or against what? In other words, what was the need for a play like this? The whole world knows where America stands in relation to Taiwan. Why would we send Nancy Pelosi there? That's what I'm trying to get to. Will says, if we get another Trump versus Biden election in 2024, I'm going to rip my hair out. And if you believe polls, we got a real shot at it. I mean, it's a long way off, especially considering they're both, closing in on 100 years old. 2024 is still a long way away, but as it stands right now, they're the two leaders in their individual parties as far as polling. Chrome says, I want you to watch this and tell me this woman's not mentally unwell. Okay, let me take a look at that quick. Oh, it's probably one of the ones I've seen. Is this where she's really babbling?
Except now we may have added in the last day or so. And some of what we added is Senate to the bill, like a hearing. Bernie doesn't like hearing. Bernie loves hearing. Manchin doesn't want hearing.
It's actually depressing to watch. It really is. She's completely gone out there. Biden doesn't. You know who really surprised me with their inability to speak coherently on a regular basis is Kamala Harris. Because I'm not a fan of Kamala Harris's politics. But I've always thought she's, sharp, and she's a sharp-witted woman. But boy, she can really, in her public speaking, she can really dig herself a hole, and then just once the hole is dug, she just keeps digging it digging it deeper and making circles in it. She can get really lost. Repugnant Tone says senility is definitely settling in with her. Yeah, I mean, it's scary. Kat says, people call China the world's largest population, largest military, and second largest economy, a paper tiger, but expect the U.S. to prop up dozens of useless allies who are responsible for protecting. Well, that's the thing. I mean, I think at least the paper tiger thing is more of a tongue-in-cheek now, because they were a paper tiger for years, but you're right. Now, just on sheer numbers alone, they are anything but. Would they actually be willing to take a military action over this? Probably not. But again, my question remains, why test it? Why test the waters? I mean, what hey, I have no problem with any American in government going to Taiwan, but I would like there to be a reason, and that's what I don't understand is what is the reason? Why do we have Pelosi even there? That's what I'm curious about. Morton says Hawley and the rest of the Republicans are just going to sit back in the cut and obstruct until they can slide in. It's sad how often in modern American politics, the party who wins elections or gains seats, whatever the individual case may be, how many times it's not because of their strengths, but because of the other side's weaknesses. I mean, we know that's what won Biden the election is the anti-Trump vote. There's no question about it. And I believe what propelled Trump to victory over Hillary was anti-Hillary votes. And that's just kind of sad when you think about it. How often big, high-profile elections in this country are decided because the other side is just so distasteful, not because the person you're voting for has any type of excellence about them. Excuse me. Stormstar says it does sound like she's. Lost Stormstar. Oh, there. It does sound like she's going just to give China the middle finger and basically saying, if you feel like you have a shot, take it. It does. And that's the part I don't understand. I just don't get what the gain is in this or what the impetus is for going there. It seems that it's just because, as I said, they want to do the old Three Stooges and go whoop, 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 and pop Winnie the Pooh in the eyes there. Madmint says, the thing is, this is a very American way of newsing. China's economy is collapsing, as is Russia's, true. In the UK, there's no talk of World War III, and we sent ships. I do think there will be talk, though. Madmint, the only reason I say that is it's not, I don't think it's hyperbolic to discuss it because it is a big deal. I mean, when you have China saying, hey, don't do this or else, and they're, as you say, their or else is kind of open-ended, and then you go ahead and do it, you do have to wonder. I mean, it's a fair thing to question the judgment of all this. But no, I just don't get it. But you're right. Economically, China and Russia are both in trouble. But again, in fairness, so are we. I don't think any of the three are as in much trouble as Russia is. Russia's in trouble for generations now. Not that their economy has really ever been that strong to begin with. P. Martin says, Nancy putting her grifting old butt over there to give the old buck if you want, son. Chrome says, no, they're still a paper tiger. If you've seen their military ability, the only advantage they have is numbers. Their bullets can't even fire straight. Well, I think there's little doubt that as far as ground war goes, America doesn't have an equal there. I stand by that. But you have to understand, Chinese and Russian, well, Chinese more so, technology has really, really taken off over the last 10 years in their military. If it was a real balls out war, they can do some heavy damage. There's no question about it. You're right. As far as boots on the ground, their big thing is numbers. And we see in Russia what their boots on the ground and what their traditional equipment is like. We're seeing it right now, and it's not good. Brian says, the only thing about inflation I know is what was under my bed when I was a teen. Oh, you know what? Never mind. Well, at least, so I take it your inflation from your teenage years is gone. Some of us never, I mean, not me, but some of us held on to it. Madmint says the CCP is failing inland, though. Protests all over. Is there? I'd heard that. I didn't know how accurate those reports were. Well, when economies start to decline significantly and it starts to put a pinch on the population, natives tend to get restless. Yes, but yeah, I mean, Russia's economy is crap, and with the sanctions that have been levied already against Russia, they're screwed probably for generations. China's is on the dramatic decline, and of course we've got our own issues here as well. I don't know though. Okay, let me ask you guys this. Does Russia's miserable economy, China's failing or at least falling economy, does that make the potential for a major conflict more likely or less likely? Because you can make the case that it's like, and I think this is true to some extent with Putin. I think with Putin, I'm starting to wonder if the rumors of him being sick aren't true, and he's just like, fuck it, I don't give a shit what happens anymore. And you would think failing economies would make that even more of a possibility, and saying, you know what, fuck it, here, let's see if we can generate some nationalism, some support, because we'll paint ourselves to be victims of the evil U.S. empire, and we'll start something. Yeah, I've heard that too, Max. That's what I was alluding to. Max says, I have heard that Putin might be severely ill. It has not been proven. Yeah, I'm really wondering about that. Dragon says, what do truck drivers and adult stars have in common? They both get paid by the load. The load. Well done, Dragon. Let's see. Mike says, Would we be freaking out if a Russian or Chinese president visited Cuba, Bahamas, or Mexico, considering how close they are to the U.S.? Actually, though, Mike, no, not really. But it's an entirely different situation. I mean, you have to understand the reason China's freaking out is because Taiwan's sovereignty, independence, is in question. Cuba, Bahamas, Mexico, that's not true in any of those situations. So it's it's kind of apples and oranges. Would we freak out? No, not really. And now you said if a foreign dignitary visited, now if you change that to if a foreign country decides to put nukes there or something, sure, then we would. But I mean, as far as visiting, no, they wouldn't freak out. Barry says China's or else threat is more than likely trade sanctions. That could be against the U.S. that no doubt would come back around to bite them in the ass when it comes to the U.S. defense. Yeah. Well, and what got people talking about it too was, you guys, I'm sure, saw on the news the big military display performative art that China was taking part in earlier in the week or late last week, whenever it was. Basically, a bunch of saber rattling, saying, "Hey, look, these are the badass toys we got. You don't go to Taiwan," that type of thing. Max says, I don't want to sound too rude or anything. No, but it does not matter if a dictator passes away as long as their ideas remain rooted in the population. True. But you have to wonder, especially in Russia, and Putin is a dictator, but especially in Russia, I'm not sure that his ideas are rooted in at least a plurality of the population's minds. Madman says, okay, would say less likely, you think so? The people in both countries are actively fighting against their government. Did you see that Russia is giving grieving mothers a free car for their dead sons? No, really? That's really fucked up, isn't it? Wow. Yeah, we sent your kid off to a war started over trivial matters, and now your son's dead. Hey, here's a brand new automobile. It's like The Price is Right or some shit. Wow. Chrome says the Chinese banks are claiming people's money as their own, basically. Oh, I didn't know that. And the Chinese are sending tanks in to protect the banks from protests. Let me find the link. We think it's Tiananmen 2.0. Wow. I didn't realize that was going on. Pepsi says we can't let China dictate what countries our officials visit. I agree, but there's a but. What purpose does Pelosi's visit serve? Who knows? She's free to go wherever she wants. That's not the question, though, Pepsi. That's what I'm saying. What purpose does her visit serve? Nobody's questioning whether she has the right. What we're questioning is why. I mean, you know damn well what you're doing. You know by going to Taiwan, you're going to put pressure on China for a response of some sort. My question is, why do it? Now, no one ever said that China should dictate where any American should be able to go and what they should be able to do. The question does still remain, and it is a valid question, what purpose does it serve? Saying she's free to go wherever she wants makes no sense. Not when you know damn well what you're doing is specifically to try and agitate another nation. So it's like, why are we trying to agitate them? That's my question. Let's see. Putin elected numerous times. Kat says, voted the most popular man in Russia repeatedly, beloved on the streets, dictator, y'all need help. Oh, yeah, no, you're right. All those elections were held as fair and square as you can get. No, you're 100% right. We agree with you. The most popular man in Russia. Yeah, no, I'm sure you're 100% spot on. It's never been anything of any question in a Russian election, including, the deaths of those who would pose a significant threat to that rule. AZN says a lot of people are actually happy to see Nancy get destroyed by China. That part is scary too. Well, that's just the nature of American politics now, AZN. If something bad happens to the other side, there's a ton of people that are just happy for it. That's just sad. Brian says the only thing I know about World War III was it was a WCW pay-per-view. and in fairness, as we alluded to earlier, do I think this is going to start World War III? No. Do I think it's fair that people are concerned? Yeah, absolutely. 100%. You would assume wrong, Kat. I'm assuming I'm the only one who's actually been to Russia. We have a bunch of Russian people here, and they identified themselves as Russian way before there were any issues, any talk of concerns or anything like that, to where it would behoove them to come in as fakes. And Russia, on our channel analytics, and I've told the gang this before, over the last year, Russians have been the highest moving percentage-wise number of our viewers here. So Russia used to be in the category of other nations. Now it's got its own category and is over 1%. So no, that's a lot of the information I get is from them directly, because whenever we've had discussions about Russia, we've been fortunate enough to have some of the Russian people in here and tell us how they view things. But if we're falling for propaganda, trust me, so are you. Krusty says, look, if Pelosi gets shot down, what does anyone really lose? A drunk old lady with far more political power than her mental state calls for. I just, like I say, I agree on Pelosi. I think Pelosi started to go bye-bye. As I said, there's unfortunately a significant number of our politicians that I think age is greatly decreasing their cognitive abilities, and then others who just don't have, younger ones who don't have much cognitive ability to begin with. And again, we're talking both sides of the aisle here. Chrome says, here's 2 main links. Okay, let me take a look at those links. They're bank from the Chinese people. China's on the brink of collapse and the banks are broke. Ooh. Yeah, wrap yourself. That's a good point. Takes a special kind of stupid to wrap yourself in the U.S. dollar and then try to fight that very system. Wow. See, that I hadn't seen all this. Let me check Chrome's other link here. I just want to see those. Chinese consumers are refusing to make mortgage payments on incomplete property development. Suppliers that took out loans are doing the same. Chinese banks are on the hook for a lot of bad debt, and people's life savings are at risk. Yep. Well, you guys are right. That is certainly, history has shown, that is one way to get the people in the streets fighting their government, is when times get desperate for them. And with what we're reading from what Chrome's given us there, again, you could be heading for another Tiananmen Square type of thing. Max says, what is really sad and maybe concerning is that not only is the Russian government very corrupt and filled with propaganda, but some of the Russian citizens even agree with Putin's invasion. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I don't mean to suggest by saying that, by calling Putin a dictator, because he is, as far as I'm concerned, that he doesn't have support in the country. He absolutely does. As near as we can tell from things that come out, and of course, with a lot of mothers losing their sons in a war, and it doesn't matter what country you're from, when that starts to happen, that will erode your popularity a significant amount. We've seen it happen here in America. Anywhere that takes place, that's going to happen. So to think that there isn't a very significant number of Russians who have had enough of Putin would be just as ridiculous a notion as thinking that there aren't any who support him. Rosa says, scientists reverted the aging of a few mice by doing cell cloning experiments. He made old mice race against young mice and the old ones won. Really? It's the same as 70-year-olds outperforming a top athlete. Really? I hadn't heard about that. I'm fascinated by that whole aspect of science, the whole thing with cloning, stem cell research, stuff like that. I'm fascinated with that stuff. I'd like to read those articles. Envix says the nukes we have now are way crazier than they were 40 years ago. Yeah, unfortunately, Envix, everybody's are. Yeah. Not only the nukes themselves, but the delivery systems for the nukes. Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. Captain Benjamin says, I still think that politicians are trying to start a conflict because there's some kind of financial or political gain from it. People in power don't want to lose that power at sad times. I don't think that's 100% wrong either. And that's why I was talking about, the tough times, and does it create more or less likelihood for conflict? Because typically, and it doesn't matter the country, but here in America, obviously, as well as anywhere else, in conflict, that's usually when you can get citizenry to rah, rah, rah and rally around the flag, whatever flag that may be. And you just got to hope that with Russia and or China, that isn't a thought in the mind of the ruling class. It's like, well, if we have a skirmish against the United States, if we can, even try and keep something limited skirmish, we can paint them as, the evil empire who's trying to put us under their thumb, and that will gain me, the politician, that will gain me some popularity because people will rally to the flag. That's what you worry about. Kat says, literal Nazis waving swastikas, wearing SS lightning bolts, committing genocide, being supported by the U.S. and its allies. How can you accuse others of propaganda when our media lies about Ukraine? Everyone knows that there is a Nazi element in the Ukraine, in a specific region of the Ukraine, not the Ukraine, to be exact. I read that in media. That's what started me on reading articles online or from media sites online, is what started me looking into that. So I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know where the lie is. That information's out there. That doesn't mean that as a nation that it's not in America's best interest to support the Ukrainian government. Those are two entirely different things. We know there's a Nazi element. What is it? The North? I forgot where they said now. The northern Ukraine, I believe. But again, what you like to do, Kat, is most people who are looking for a response, you like to make big, sweeping generalities. Nobody ever denied that there were literal Nazis in Ukraine. And if you look at their history, it's not hard to figure out why. You know it's going to be. Right. Basically what Chrome says, yeah, we know there's Nazis in the Ukraine. Their Speaker of the House or such as one as well. Doesn't justify you trying to conquer a nation. Right. Right. No, it's the federal government of Ukraine. Again, you're making big sweeping generalities that just aren't true, Kat. If it makes you feel better, that's fine. But this just isn't true. Hey, Tommy. And Chrome says, also, this is probably the perfect summary of the situation. The big issue is the system is what like half their economy is based on. All right, let me take a look at this link. Looks like China's on the verge of another Tiananmen Square revolution, which massacred and jailed thousands and thousands of people until the demonstration stopped. Now Chinese banks have stolen billions of dollars from customers who have been making mortgage payments. Yeah. For apartments that have not been built or finished. When the Chinese people went online to their local banks, they couldn't get into their accounts. When they went to their bank to protest and get their money back, they were beaten and arrested. Yahoo. Well, again, it's online, and you never know who to believe. But considering there's apparently a lot of reports like that starting to surface, you got to wonder if it certainly isn't accurate to some degree. And yeah, that sounds eerily like Tiananmen Square. Kat says, my fiance was murdered by them after the revolution, you ignorant Listen, if you want to start name calling, we can go down that route too. Don't start that shit. You can get the fuck out of here. You want to have a conversation, have a conversation. You want to tell your woes and start talking shit, go fuck yourself. That good enough for you, Kat? Azan says those Azov battalion Nazi jerks have found new respect for Jewish President Zelensky. Now, see, again, that's what I'm saying. As was brought up, everybody's aware that there are Nazis in Ukraine. It's never been a question. Oh, Chrome says more than just reports now as well. We have video recordings of the tanks defending the banks and beatings. It's harder for them to hide this now because the smartphones compared to the enemy. True. Yeah, that's true too, Chrome. I didn't think about that. Yeah, no matter how hardcore the Chinese government is with trying to prevent information from leaking out, it's impossible anymore. You're always going to have some tech savvy wizards that are going to be able to get video information out of anywhere in the world. I think there's no doubt. Milok says, the second I clicked into the stream, I was greeted with "Go fuck yourself. Today's going to be a good day." Well, that's just disrespectful shit. Now you have a conversation back and forth, and then somebody doesn't like the way the conversation goes. You start throwing insults and stuff. You guys know how I feel about disrespect. So you want to play disrespect? I'll play disrespect with you. Tsunami says the tallest building in Taiwan lit up saying "Welcome Pelosi." That pissed off the commies on Twitter. Did it? I agree with all those who said, hey, she's a representative of America. She can go anywhere she wants. Absolutely, if she's welcomed by that country. I'm not questioning that. My question is, why are we doing it? Why did she want to do it? It doesn't seem like there was any need, any rationale for going to Taiwan other than kind of like, hey, let's see what the Chinese government does. I have no idea what this is. We're gonna have to leave a message. So that was my thoughts. Oh yeah, the video tank sign up. I did forget we had seen that in that first one. I did forget about that. Barry says name calling. Well, then you're a duty head. Hey, watch it, duty head. I thought I was killed by a duty head, Barry's. It's hit home with me. And it was killed by an enlarged heart. But the enlarged heart was a duty head. Captain says, another big question, is she actually going to say anything about her trip when she gets back, or is she going to keep quiet? Yeah, Captain Baham, is it? I just don't understand it. I don't know. And again, not because we have different political perspectives with Pelosi. I've really been reading, and asking to see, is there a reason to be there other than to just tweak China? That's what I've been asking. Rosa says, dictators hold on to power by being popular with the people. Caesar, who committed genocide in Gaul and crashed the Roman economy for personal gains, he's the most popular consul the Roman ever had. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. That's what you worry about, Rosa, is getting a leader who may feel power slipping away or feel an uprising on the horizon, getting involved in a war with a known enemy of that nation, which America would be to, you would assume, to the average person in China or in Russia. That a lot of times that can drum up that good, rah-rah, rally around the flag support that they need. And that is concerning. Licks, Pelosi, Nancy, Nazi. It's all coming together. Barry says, should they want to admit it or not, China wouldn't step up to the plate for military action unless provoked on their home mainland. They know they're isolated on allies when the U.S. is plenty ready. I think that's true, Barry. As I said, I don't think that they're unhinged, because it would, to be honest with you, Nancy Pelosi visiting Taiwan, if that elicited a military response from China, I think you could comfortably classify that as unhinged. And that's what I'm saying. I don't think they're that unhinged. But you just never know for sure. Again, what's going through somebody's mind? What's going through Winnie the Pooh's mind about all this? It's like, a little conflict with the United States might rally the troops and make them forget about the fact they can't get money out of their banks. And maybe we can figure a way to spin this as somehow America took actions that have directly led to the decline of our own economy. Because you got to remember, the average Chinese citizen knows what the Chinese government tells them and not much else by Chinese government design. So that's the kind of things you worry about. Captain says it feels like pot stirring to me. It does. I'm with you. I can't find a good reason for her to be there. I don't care she's there, and I wanted to know why. It may affect my country. I want to be in the know. Well, that's the way I was. It's when it was first discussed, I honestly thought, I'm missing something here. There has to be a reason that, other than just the day-to-day routine, there has to be a reason that we would have a high-ranking U.S. official in Taiwan. So I went looking to see what had happened recently, what China had said or done or what had taken place. And I just haven't been able to find anything. It just seems like it just came out of the blue. And Nancy went, I'm going to Asia. And I'm going to stop in Taiwan and see what those Chinese think of that. Haha. I guess. Johnny says if the visit was just to piss off West Taiwan, I'm cool with it. It could. That's what I'm saying, Johnny. I can't see a reason. And that's why when I came in here asking if anybody knew if there wasn't a reason for it, I wasn't, it wasn't being sarcastic or trying to be provocative. It was a legit question. It wasn't rhetorical. I was really wondering if there is any reason other than just she decided to pop in. Chrome says, I hear Taiwan is the best ice cream. Bet she wanted to fill her freezer again. Her ice cream freezer, yeah. It's probably the really expensive stuff, too. You got to remember, she likes to show off the fact that all her years in American government have paid off handsomely for her. Garen, yeah. Standing up to Chinese aggression against smaller states is good. I agree with that. But the timing is weird, and I agree with that. Maybe distract from a bad economy. You wonder, Garen, so many times, and again, this is both sides. I'm not accusing one side over the other because they both do it. Politicians will take extreme actions if they think it will get them or their cronies, their side, elected. So you always got to wonder about what in individual cases, what somebody's impetus is. Willie says, been watching all day, just found out about the stream. Well, I'm glad you found your way in, Willie. Well, we all know that the notifications are a, maybe type thing, Susan says. That's what I'm looking at, Master. Master 7 says China knows the U.S. said it would defend Taiwan, so the visit just seems to be irritate China. And that just seems pithy and kind of ridiculous to me. And again, I can't say that enough. I agree with what others have said. Yes, we should not allow China to dictate the movements of any member of our government. However, that said, again, why do something randomly to just try and piss somebody off? I don't get that idea. Kaiser says, enough about World War III. Where's World War IV? Let's just move right along. Hey, Willie. Oh, Willie. Okay, so I gotta do more with the channel memberships. I promise I will. For those of you who don't know, the other day, YouTube randomly sent me an email saying they would give $500 if we would start up channel membership. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to turn down $500, but I'm also not going to be a dick. I'm not going to just set it up and not do anything with it. So I set it up and I started putting out getting some of this stuff set up for it, the little icon pics you can use and stuff like that. But I hadn't really done anything other than mention it once at the community tab to tell everybody about it. But Willie, you're probably our only member, because that little blue star that Willie's got there. Now you got me curious. Hold on, I'll be right back to the conversation. I get doing so much different shit. I forget to check on things. I don't even. Let's see if you're the only member, Willie. Okay, memberships. I think you're it. Well, it doesn't. Considering it says total members 0, and then it says recent member activity. Oh no, here's see your members. Yes, it's just you, Willie. Willie is the original Spaz Boys Comedy member. Oh no, wait, Gimster jumped in too. Now you guys can at least have a conversation. And 2 members, I will start putting stuff together for it too, I promise. Excuse me. I did upload some of the little icon pics and stuff like that, but once we get more and more people in too, I'll start doing stuff that's exclusive for members. But yes, now Willie and Gimster can chat. Go play with your Willie, Mentor says. Gimster's I'm number 2. And size doesn't matter is in what we call the membership group. Rosa says, people think it's a stereotype that Venezuelans like to party. But it's simply a fact. Look at President Chavez. He was supposed to help us out of depression, but he wanted to attend parties instead. Well, if you're going to be dedicated to partying, I guess you just stay dedicated to partying. Willie says, no, but seriously, what's Winnie the Pooh up to this time? Not really him, Willie. This time it's, for some reason, Nancy Pelosi has decided to pop in on, say hi to Taiwan while on an Asian trip. And, of course, Taiwan's independence is greatly challenged by China, who believes that they still belong to them. And they take any insinuation, anything said, done in any way that suggests that Taiwan does not belong to China as an independent nation. They take that very seriously and get really, really pissed off. And so everybody's trying to figure out why Nancy decided to stop there, knowing that it was just going to be something to basically, as I said, poke them in the eye. Barry says, wait a second, now I'm confused. Oh, Barry's is in. No, that's right. That was Gimster. Barry's is one of us too. Oh, you guys are coming in. I'm glad you did this. At least it reminds me to go in there and start doing stuff for the members. And I'll be doing members only posts on the community tab and stuff like that too. Probably the more, I was going to say embarrassing stuff, but I don't get embarrassed by anything. More of the stuff that would embarrass a normal human being. Chrome says, by the way, on lighter news, some more of the redesigns for Urusei Yatsura leaked from promotional art. I'm liking the redesigns. Let me take a quick peek at that one. Urusei Yatsura, I don't know that. Well, I just know from Chrome, actually. Oh, cool. I do like the art. Oh, I do like the art a lot. Cute. Very cute. Boy, watching more of that Ace of the Diamond today in the G100s. That's such a good show. And I'm still looking into it, guys. I can't find... I think you guys will agree. Our mods do so much for us and have for so many years. I'm still trying to figure out if I can grant you guys memberships to the channel or not. I'm still looking. I haven't been able to find anything yet, but I'll keep looking. Barry says I'm packing 5 inches since it doesn't matter anymore. Tsunami says Pelosi has been talking about visiting Taiwan for a couple weeks now. I believe so. It wasn't out of the blue. Has she? See, I only heard about it, Tsunami, probably I think 3 days ago. I think I started hearing about it. But even then, I'm just, and again, it's as much as I don't like Nancy Pelosi, I don't mean this as an insult. I shouldn't say it as an accusation. I was just curious why. That's all. You know, regardless when she started thinking about why, I don't get what it is. Hey, Kaiser's one of us now too. One of us. I will say this. If the channel memberships do start to take off in any significant numbers, we have almost 300,000 subscribers, even though they never get notified. So I think it's fair to say if we ever get to 1,000, I will make a video where I eat a slice of American cheese with no bread, no nothing. I'll just eat it. I'll probably puke. And if that ever happened and we get to 2,000, I might do something with mayonnaise. I'm not ready to go say I'd actually do it yet. Oh. Okay, Gimster says there is a way to gift subs on YouTube. Don't know if you have to enable it or not. Okay, I'll have to look at my settings, pal. There is a way though. Okay. I'll have to look up then. Yeah, Krusty Brown. Well, you guys know, Krusty, you're with us all the time. You know, the two most disgusting things in the world to me are American cheese and mayonnaise. And if I was going to do something, you know, a lot of YouTubers or online entertainers, hey, we achieve this goal, I'll do this crazy thing that might hurt me. I'm not afraid of getting hurt. There's nothing I can do that I haven't done already that's going to be any more painful than the shit I used to do for fun on the weekends wrestling. The most disgusting, way worse than getting any type of physical pain to me would be eating either one of those two items. So that would be, if it starts to take off at all and we get a little traction, I will do that. If we go to 1,000 members, I will eat a slice of American cheese. I'll even do it in a live stream and then post it. Whoa. Whoa. Oh my God. I don't know if I could. Philip makes a good point, but I don't know if I could. What about mayo on the cheese for 3,000? You know, I would say, I mean, I don't know if I can. I can't adequately describe it to you guys. I think I always worry when I say things like this because I don't do things for dramatic effect. I think I don't want you guys to think that I'm being over dramatic about it to set something up. I don't know if I could do that. I mean, I could force it in my mouth, but I don't know that I could stop the reflex from just spitting it back out. I think for me, it's extra because I've told you guys, I have about the most limited taste you'll ever see. I have a very narrow field of foods that I like. So the ones that I hate, again, there's no, you say, hey, you get to 1,000, I'll take a razor blade and slice my forehead open. I'll do it. I'll do it all day long. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, it burns. It hurts. It feels like you're unzipping your flesh. But I've done it. It's not a big deal. But to eat that American cheese is just like, I never get anxiety. And I get anxious even thinking about it. Captain says you got to make an OnlyFans just for eating American cheese and mayo. Captain, I'm hoping there isn't an audience for that. Mayonnaise and sardines. I've never eaten sardines. I've smelled them. Al Junaibi, I've smelled them. Judging by the smell, I think I could get through the sardines better than I could the American cheese and mayonnaise. It's just the next level to me. You're a picky eater too, Nowhere? I do like seeing this. This is kind of cool. I didn't. So you guys that are members get the green screen, Nate. Well, I wonder what. Now, if I can figure a way to gift memberships to our mods, what if you guys will still be blue or if you'll go green? Well, probably go green with the wrench, right? Chrome says, okay, now hear me out. A sandwich with American cheese for bread. Oh, come on. Bean boozle for filling and mayo and prune for sauce. How are you with I don't know. Beetroot. When I was a kid, my mom would make us eat beet. My mom loved beets. And I don't like most stuff actually, but nothing is as bad as my stomach is actually churning talking about it. As American cheese and mayo. And I mean that literally. I can feel my stomach's like in upheaval. Master says, I don't think we'll ever see World War III per se, but I do think a war with Russia or China is possible to see. Hope not, but yeah. With the current power of military weapons, they see one side backing down very quickly. Well, that's what you got to hope for, Master. And that's the concern. Excuse me. As I had said a little earlier, you worry about anybody involved deciding that, hey, you know what? A little skirmish against that bad guy who my citizens see as bad guys will be really good for getting people to embrace the flag, getting all of our country aligned together. That's what you worry about. There's a lot of times politicians see it that way. A little bit of a skirmish against the big bad guy gets everybody on the same page together. And, well, China, Russia, and America could all use that. Not the war, could use getting everybody on the same page. Willie says, also, ballsy move putting the honey pot vid up. No problems. Not so far. I'll have the uncensored patch for you this month. No, not so far, Willie. I got thinking about it, pal, but that's why I put it up, because they we played that first round. I love that game too. I'd forgotten how much, because I even like the game itself within the game. We got through that first one, without seeing any titties or anything. So it's like, I mean, and YouTube sent us a while back, this was with their updated rules, where they were easing off some on video game content and stuff. They were taking it into proper context, they said. So really, that should have been fine. And so far, no issues. Excuse me. Oh, Kimster says pineapple pizza with American cheese with some mayo. That'll be delicious. As gross as that is, the grossest thing I can think of, though, Gimster, is any one of them on their own, to where there's not even anything to dilute the flavor. Oh, ooh, my stomach's churning. Chrome says, relax, we'll give you pudding afterward, but only if you finish your sandwich. It'll be tapioca. Yeah, tapioca's gross too. Not nearly as gross as the others, but pretty gross. Yeah, the titties come later on. Yeah, I know I wouldn't be able to show it for long. Chimerieri says, will Gooshers get memberships? That would be impossible for me to keep track of, though, pal. Chimerieri, because especially at the Goosh, people come and go, which I understand, because a lot of times people come over. The Goosh, our Patreon, for anyone who don't know, they come over and they just want to catch up, watch some videos, or there's a special series, they come in, they watch it, and they'll take off for a month, 2 months, whatever, and come back later. So it'd be impossible for me to keep those two things connected. There's no way for me to connect them. But I did keep the channel memberships. We're setting it up on a live stream. They're all at everything is $2. I didn't put levels or anything like that. I set it up to make YouTube happy so I can get my $500, but all of it's just $2 a month. Gabe says, okay, now hear me out. A smoothie with American cheese, mayo, blue cheese, a McDonald's quarter pounder, and for the sauce, mustard, and then for the topping, a slice of pineapple pizza. See, I know it's weird. Nothing in that, Gabe, grossed me out as much as just the individual thoughts of American cheese and mayonnaise. Mustard, I actually don't mind that much. I never willingly put it on something. I don't use condiments, so I don't willingly put it on something. But like, if I order a burger somewhere and they forget and they put mustard on it, I'll still eat it. If they put American cheese on it, I'm throwing that shit out. John Bob says, how about you eat spaghetti where the pasta sauce is nacho cheese and the meat are big locusts? It'd be preferable to American cheese for me. Vanilla lemon smoothie? I love lemon, Kyron. Lemon's one of my favorite things. Oh, okay. Big Green says, I don't know if the gift gets sent to a random person. Or if you can choose, but the person who gets it needs to enable gift membership for that particular channel first. How do you do that? Well, yeah. There's a lot of questions about it, Big Green. I'll try and research it more. Basically, what you put there at the end of the well, that's what I was running into, a lot of dead ends when I was searching up information on it. It's like, well, you can do this, and then you're like, well, how do we go about it? And that's where the trail would end. Chrome says, wait, you can eat that fermented filth mustard but not mayo? Correct. There's just something about the flavors, Chrome. I say I don't like mustard, but I will eat it. But no, if you put it, whatever the sandwich, whatever the serving is, if you put mustard on it, I'll power through and I'll eat it anyway. If you put mayo on it, I'm throwing it away. Oh, Gimster says, after the gifted subs run for a month, the owner will have to pay for the membership themselves. That's why I was wishing that. Well, see, that's Susan greed. You would think they would let the operator of the channel just give people some memberships. But that's all, again, that's Susanisms right there. Now, I can't say for sure that they don't do it. I'm still going to try and figure it all out. But they probably don't, because Susan's worried about not getting her cut on a channel membership. Chimerieri says, remember to always finish what you eat. There are starving children in China who would appreciate that meal, right? Big Green says, the reason why I said that is because I saw the option to accept gifts in chat of a stream I watch. after somebody gifted subs, but I for the life of me couldn't find that in just the options menu. It is weird, Big Green. They don't, well, we should never be, I guess, surprised that YouTube doesn't have something thoroughly ferreted out. But yes, it does seem to be very incomplete, that system. Astro says, I'm the only one that I know that hates mayo. Glad to see someone agrees with me. 100%, pal. Stuff is disgusting. Just the worst. Oh, God damn. Kyron says, okay, 2 of your favorite sandwiches, but one with mayo and one with sticky stuff. You're going to risk to eat one or going to do it like me and eat both? Oh, jeez. Oh. It is. It's funny how just talking about that, it just got my stomach in upheaval. Alice says, on the topic of U.S. and China, I think there will be another crisis. Unfortunately, U.S. foreign relations have dwindled. Yeah, true. And as I said, that was, the main point of the conversation we're having today is I just don't understand what she's doing over there. Why? We all know China's stance on Taiwan. We all know that America's official stance is the exact antithesis of that, and that we believe that China is an independent nation. Or, I'm sorry, that Taiwan is an independent nation. So nothing in that changed, and all of a sudden Nancy just said, hey, let's see what China does if I go visit anyway. I just don't get it. Oh, Willie too. He says, oh, I'm with you. Mayo is the devil's cum. It tastes horrible. Oh, Big Green says, I live in the country that loves mayo with their fries, and I hate that shit. I've seen people do that here, Big Green. And I love fries. Yes, I have seen people dip fries in mayo, and it's like, what the? Oh, stop that. I want to go up and slap it right out of their hands. It's like, no. Bad. Johnny too, though. Mayo is cum. I'm not eating that shit. So you guys, that's why if we do that, it would be at 1,000 members, I would do American cheese. I'd have to figure out. I don't want to ever. Well, I guess I could put it down as at 2,000 or whatever. I will attempt to eat something with mayo because I can't guarantee I can swallow it. That's that's what she said. I don't know. I don't know if I could actually get it down. I think the American cheese I could. It might make me throw up, but I think I could consume it. The mayo, I don't even know if I could get it to go down my gullet. Chrome says, my guess without looking further into it yet is it's just reaffirming that China, the U.S. won't abandon Taiwan like it seems they're doing to Ukraine now. Could be. And that's fair enough. I just don't think the timing for that is a good idea. Just given everything else that's going on in the world right now and tensions being the way they are. But no, that would be fair. I would question the timing. Mayo with hot dogs? Nope, not me, pal. Not on anything. John Bob says, I don't necessarily see a war between the U.S. and China because our economy is heavily dependent on China. They could just stop supplying us, we'd be done. Well, and it is, the thing is, too, John Bob, you're not wrong. But China is heavily reliant on the U.S. as well as a consumer. And obviously with all the issues, and we were just discussing some of them, Chrome gave us some good videos with the absolute horrific situation that China has right now with their banks and everything. Yeah, that would damage them irreparably as well. Sounds like they're in for some serious problems in the streets of China as it is right now. Chrome says, by the way, my Dress Up Darling Season 2 is now in production. They're announcing a lot of stuff. Oh, that was cool. That was fun. My Dress Up Darling was way better than I thought it was going to be. I enjoyed that a lot. Captain Baham says, do you think that this is going to start a conflict between Taiwan and China? And with that, are we going to get into that conflict to go against China? Now, Captain brings up a good point. That's what you got to wonder. and I'd forgotten, I wanted to bring this up and I'd forgotten about it. So thank you for saying that, because now you have to wonder, okay, is China's response going to be, all right, let that bitch fly out of there, and then we're going to go over and lay the smackdown on Taiwan to make it sure in no uncertain terms everybody knows that they belong to us. That's a possible outcome as well. And then they're throwing the onus back to America, saying, what are you going to do about it? Johnny says the drunkard is very anti-China, as am I, so her going to just piss him off is believable. It is. It is. I mean, excuse me. All the possible rationale we've discovered for all of this, and it could be nothing more than that. You're 100% right. It could be. Well, that's one of my concerns I brought up. Melon, China needs to start a war in order to prevent their people to realize how shit they live in. Well, they're realizing it now anyway with the banks taking all their money. I hadn't even realized that had gotten so severe until Chrome just pointed out during the stream. So but you're right. That's something I had alluded to before. You get concerned that Winnie the Pooh is going to go, hey, we need a good conflict with somebody I can paint as the ultimate enemy to get people to rally around the Chinese flag and not worry about the fact that we're just taking all their money out of the bank on them. Brother Malachi says that dumb harpy doesn't know her fancy ice cream probably comes from China. Chrome says, well, what if we watered down the mayo? 1/2 mayo, 1/2 water, tomato sauce. Or is that worse to you? Watery mayo, you can be like Toshiro Hijikata. Hijikata. That's one of the worst parts that's the toughest part for me about watching Gintama, is when freaking Hijikata just starts throwing mayonnaise on everything and starts eating it. It's like, I have to use my old hypnosis tricks and just convince my subconscious that, no, it's vanilla ice cream. It doesn't matter that it says mayo, because otherwise it makes me want to puke. Commenter says, China isn't as bad as Western propaganda says it is. Well, China's not good, especially when it comes to the treatment of their people and any people that they deem as unworthy. When it comes to human rights, they're pretty bad. PhD Malin says if something goes wrong, blame the West and USA working like a charm. And that's, yeah, Malin, that's exactly where I'm at. That's what you worry about, is that's how a lot of times that's how you rally your people. Set up a big bad guy enemy for them to all gather around and hate together, and again wrap themselves in the flag of their nation and say, you are bad, you are bad. That's what you get concerned about. Mortem, you like mayo too? Oh, no. Chrome says the Japanese love mayo. I didn't know that. Like, really love it. There's Japanese mayo. I've had it on chicken katsu curry and rice at izakaya. Really? I know Hijikata loves it. And woo. Yeah, we're right in the midst of Gintama now, Melon. Yeah, it's really good. That my biggest thing about Gintama, my biggest surprise is how good that show is at really getting to your feels when it wants to too. I knew going in that it could be really funny. I'd seen clips and stuff. I knew I was going to like the characters, but damn, when they want to tell you a feels story, they really know how to do that as well. Repugnant Tone says mayo is to be used sparingly. At least that. Yeah, there was that prank video a while back. Some of you may have seen it. Guy was doing to his wife. He filled a mayo jar because he likes mayonnaise, with vanilla pudding. And his wife came in the room and he was scooping it out and just slugging it down. She thought it was actual mayo. I watch that and I get the creeps. I have to turn it off. Wow. Grimner Reaper says, if you like mayo at all, I don't. Some of the gang does. The Japanese stuff is pretty much bottled crack. Really? That good? Huh. Oh, Gabe. Did you hear about the new movie Constipation? It hasn't come out yet. That's awesomely terrible. All right, guys, I got to go. I'm going to try some days. I don't think it'll be today because I still got some other stuff I have to take care of. But I'm going to try on some days to start doing double streams. I want to do some chat ones and some gaming ones. Because with the channel memberships now, as you guys can see, we got a few members. And with YouTube having me start channel memberships, any gaming I do will be streamed here instead of Twitch. I was starting to move things over there, but this channel membership thing kind of reversed it. Because that's where I think a lot of the time they come in the most handy, the channel memberships, is on the gaming streams. And it does make the comments stand out, I'll say that. With the little stars and the green, the green screen names and everything. So I don't know that it'll be today, but I am going to start doing that. Before we get into any long games, because every time I try and start one, something comes up and I don't get to finish it. We're going to do shorter games at first to see if I can keep a schedule of gaming before we do a long one. We might start with that. Didn't you guys tell me that game, that Stray, the one about the cats that's so hot right now? I think you guys said it's like a 3 or 4 hour game. So a couple streams of that, we could finish it. That might be a fun one. Maybe we'll go do some more. We had a bunch of fun that one day going on to one of the websites that just has browser games. And actually some of those browser games were really fun. Yeah, Chrome says Stray is good in like 3 or 4 hours. Everybody's been talking about that Stray. It really got me, because I'm not a cat person, but it just really got me, my interest peaked in the game, because it's unusual to hear from so many different people how fun it was and everything. And I know there was a lot of people streaming it. So maybe we'll do that. But if not today, oh wait, here's Stray's links. Okay. Let's see what it says. Stray. Main story 4.5 hours. Main plus extra 6. Completionist 8.5. Well, then it'd be fun to it'd take up a few streams. It wouldn't be something that's a long commitment. Yeah, we could try. Oh, Happy Wheels too. I have to check, Willie. For a while, YouTube had their titties twisted about Happy Wheels. Now that was years ago, so I don't know if that's still the case. Just got to check. That's all I need to do is get another community guideline strike over something stupid. So I got to check on Happy Wheels. I'm not sure. I know for a while when Happy Wheels was really big, for those of you who remember several years ago, it was one of the big games on YouTube. They started getting really touchy about it. Excuse me. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it, Big Green? I see more and more people playing that shit. We got to try it. Yeah, that'll be, as soon as I can get to gaming, that'll be what we try next. All right, guys, thanks for this. Hey, that was fun. Thanks for all the conversation. As always, the topical stuff, like everything else, it's just so much fun to do here. Got a lot of thoughtful people, and I appreciate that a lot. And this was fun. But I will, when we get to start gaming, it'll be Stray. Yeah, I think that one will be fun. But thanks, guys. And now my stomach is still churning because we had to do all that talking about American cheese and fucking mayonnaise. So I'm going to go down and have a snow cone or something to settle my stomach. That's how it works, right? I don't know. I'll talk to you guys later.